Okay, hi everyone. Um, I'm going back with inventory system, same as yesterday, but I want to make some changes now. I'll show you what I mean in a bit. Yeah, yesterday's evening I just added a inventory title. It's just a simple uh, uh, simple object panel with a text underneath. Text Mesh Pro. Always use Text Mesh Pro, it's way better. um, and that's just it. It works like that. But right now I have some issues, and those issues are that my inventory is sometimes small, like you see, like right here. I can make that bigger, and because I've made my inventory slots holder basically, I've parented it to the inventory. Um, Also, it's also a panel, so I've parented it to a panel, and now I have that inventory slot underneath, so I can just, move all of it. Why I've done that? Well, to just apply that inventory title and make it move along with the inventory itself. And I couldn't just add it as a child to the inventory slots holder, because on the inventory slots holder I've got a grid layout group. So if I were to do this, it would just be another object in the grid layout group. So yeah. But as you can see, that's also not perfect, as my panel is not scaling properly according to the size of the child panel inventory slots holder. So that's something to fix. Okay, but it basically works, right? Kind of. Yeah, so the thing I want to do is the kind of how the scripts are communicating with each other. Because right now, in my inventory script, I have a reference to our bag, and that's actually something I would like to get rid of. Because right now, the inventory, like inventory display system, is tightly connected to the bag script. Like, if I were to hit play, right now it's okay, right? Everything's fine. As soon as I remove that component, it is also fine for now. But as soon as I want to perform any action, like for example switch a place, we should get a freaking error. Okay, I don't know why, to be honest. Let's just disable it. Can we? Yeah, we still can. Why is that? No, not like that. Not character stats. This remove component is missing. Okay. Oh, we have, finally. So yeah, if we were to change like the bag to something else, uh, it would not work. It has to, because that's how this script works basically. It's tightly connected to the bag script. And to be honest, I'll have to think a bit about how to make this, you know, different. Because right now it's also okay. I see why it's not back. I didn't add the reference yet. Now it works, but okay, it's not working. Why is that? That's actually a problem. Get 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we get any errors? Character stats. CS 45. I mean 34. What? At 34th line, we get bad item. Back.add item. What do you mean? Dun, dun, dun. It's bag. Right. Let's make it one more time. It's clear on play. Let's clear it out. And we still got that message from the character stats, 34th line, which is add item. We have to check this out. Let's hit a breakpoint and play. And we should see. Oh, I forgot to add to Unity, like to attach to Unity. If we hit play now, we're getting this. And now our bug is null. Why is the bug null? What? It's a bug, but oh, I know why. Okay, never mind. Okay, so not only it is tightly connected to inventory GUI, which is actually not that bad, I would say, but it's also connected to character stats. So character stats has to have also the reference to the bag. And that's, yeah, that's actually also not that bad. You know, because I was thinking about that inventory script to be like the universal script for every inventory. Like for example, I want to have a chest or something, and I want to make that script so that I can use the same script on that chest as well, or for example in the bank, to make it just universal. But as I think of it right now, I actually can. It's just that I have to attach the bug script to the chest as well, right? And obviously I have to add some functions to allow transferring objects between two bags or something like that. Actually, I think like it's the time to make a 3D movable object. Finally, let's just make a simple cube. Zero its position out, so it's just out there. Press F to focus on it. Make it like a floor. I know. Let's just go with 10 and 10. Okay. We'll quickly make something like a player. Go ahead and just create empty player. I'll attach a camera to that player. For now, let's just zero it out. Attach a rigid body. Rigid body, attach a collider. It can be, I don't know, a capsule collider. Classic enough. Just like that. And we go with main camera. Let's put it somewhere higher. At least a bit higher. And when we hit play, it should fall and start to roll. No, it won't roll. It's actually good. Let's also make a quick script for the player to move. Just very simple one. Why is that popping up? Create C# script, I don't know, player movement. Open. It will hold a private rigid body. It will also have some kind of speed, so we go serialized field. Actually, let's say it's private float speed. And in the update method, we can just check if player is pressing W. If input.getAxis, because the horizontal and vertical movement are made on axis, and it's W, so we wanna, I think, vertical. If input.getAxis vertical is different from 0, because it actually returns a float. That gives you kind of the amount of how much the button is pressed, or the axis is pressed. It's made so that on the, if you have a pad, for example, and you have an analog stick, you can, you know, move not all the way back to the end. You can move just a bit or something like that. So if we do that, if that's different, so like any of the buttons is pressed, or you just moving along the vertical axis, you make an RB dot add force, I think, and you add force at transform dot forward times speed, and you time it about the input by the input.getAxis vertical. So what it does is that you take your rigid body. Oh, I haven't applied a rigid body yet. We go void start rigid body equals get component rigid body. So you have your rigid body from your game object, which will be attached to a player, so it's a player. And every time you press W or the S buttons, which are corresponding to the vertical axis, I believe. We can quickly check that in the project settings. We have axis, horizontal is left and right, AD, and vertical is down and up, W and S. Okay, and I just mistype it. You have to make sure that the name of the axis is right, because it won't give any error, like, probably. I'm not sure. It might pop in the debugger that the axis wasn't found. But yeah, make sure you type it right. So this line just adds a force in the vector transform dot forward. So if you're moving on the W and S, you're just adding a force in your forward direction, multiplied by speed. So how fast do you wanna go? Let's default it to like 1, and multiplied by input.getAxis. And that fixes everything, because the input.getAxis, if you press W, it's something from the 0 to 1. It's like it's clamped from the 0 to 1. But if you press S, so you want to go backward, it's a number from 0 to -1, or from -1 to 0, to be mathematically precise. So it's from -1 to 0 for the backward movement. So it basically cares about everything, because in that case you're just adding force backward, right? If that gets minus, you're adding that vector but multiplied, or actually that vector but multiplied by the um, minus value, or by the value that's on minus. So you get the point. um, yeah, and nothing's happening because I haven't attached the player movement script to the player, so that's something you have to remember to do. And now look at the transform, because I'm not sure. I'm pretty actually sure that it will be something like really small. So if you get a player and look at the transform, it should move in the forward direction, which is defined by that, or it's represented by that blue arrow. So it should move along the z-axis, so the z should change a bit, if I'm right. No. Let's make it 10,000. No, it's still not moving. Okay, so it's not good. Why is that? Let's go and hit a quick debug log, pressing something. Oh, it's just that. Okay, so I think what I did is I mistyped it. Input.getAxis vertical. It's vertical. Edit project setting. Am I retarded or what? I think I'm retarded. I'll just copy the name and paste it. It's vertical. Does my keyboard work? Yeah, it works. Okay, right now I have no clue. Why is it like that? Let's hit save on everything. Try again. I don't know. If we get there. After pressing, even if we won't move, we should at least get a debug log. But it's not working. Yeah, I actually am retarded. All the time I've been doing it while being in editor, not in the game. So in the game now. Yep, and we can kinda move. But we're a sphere. So we just rolling. Oh, but we can roll actually quite fun. Never mind. To fix that, we can just make some constraints about rotation. We can just freeze rotation on every, uh, just for now at least. And we're pressing and we're moving slightly, very slightly. So now I can get rid of that because it's unuseful trash code right now when we know that it's working. And we can just make speed something like 1000 or something. And hit play. And now, whoa, 1000 is too much. 100? Yeah, it works forward and backward, and I have to at least increase drag by like 10. Yeah, so it actually moves kinda well enough for a bad thing like this. So the other thing we have to do is make the camera look or something like that, just the rotation script. So it's usually called mouse look, right? Mouse look script. And whoa. And we have to create that script very fast. I don't actually remember how to do it, so I have to figure it out. For sure I need a reference to our camera, because, yeah, one thing. Like, in theory I could do just like game object, camera, and now do something like camera equals camera dot main. Yeah, if I can type it right. Dot main. And that gives us camera, but the camera script. We can just make game object to apply to the game object. So no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's like the worst possible thing to do, because as you can probably tell, it depends on the, like, it's the first enabled camera tagged main camera. So what it basically does behind the scene is I could do this. I could write something like that. Find object with tag, or game object. Yeah, game object. I have to do game object dot find object with tag, and just type in main camera. Why is it bad? It's slow. Yes, that's the first thing. But right now we're doing it in the start method, so it's not actually that big of a problem for it to be slow. But if you have that main camera, right, and have someone change it because I don't know, because he can. You're working with someone, let's say, or you by mistake you just deleted that camera and created another one and you forgot to tag it. None of those you won't get any error, and I can guarantee that it won't be the first thing you will be thinking about. You will check your older scripts like several times and be like, what the hell, why it's not working? When in the reality it will be just that stupid freaking tag. So what is better to do? It's way better to just to even make it serialized field and to just apply it by hand, because if you forget to apply it to that field in the future, you'll get an error, right? So it's even better that way. Or you could just, it will be placed on the player, right? I think, or on the main camera. No, it will be placed on player, so you could just make a get child or something, or even get component child and take a game object from it. But yeah, that's how it goes. So now, how do we do that? That's actually we have to have our camera. Let's see what camera has actually. Are there any useful properties that I can use? Camera toward matrix? No, it's just matrix 4x4. I don't feel like using that. I believe there was like in raycasting there was a function that allows us to, or simple mouse look Unity. Why not? Unity simple mouse look. Get axis mouse X and mouse Y. Do I actually have a mouse X and mouse Y in my yes, I have. Okay, so that kinda solves everything, because I was just wondering how to get the mouse position. That's how. Okay. So in the update we can just go I'll actually make a private vector2 for it. Private vector2 mouse position. We can get rid of that, and in the update we can make mouse position equals new vector2 and get that no input. We can take the get axis. How's it called? It's called mouse X, right? We take the mouse X value and then we go input dot get axis mouse Y value. And while having that, we can just make our transform dot rotate wait, our game object, when I move my mouse in the X in the horizontal way, I want to rotate my layer on the Y actually axis, and when I move up and down I want it to rotate on the X. So it's different. When I move on the X, I want it to oh no, we can just make it that way. No, why am I doing that? That's our mouse position. That's good. But when I wanna rotate, new vector 3, and I wanna rotate by on the X axis. I wanna rotate by my mouse position dot Y, and on the Y position I want to rotate by my mouse position dot X, like that. It will be messy and it won't work. Yeah, I'm sure it won't work because I forgot something important. I don't know what I've forgotten yet, but I forgot something. I'm sure about that. Oh, actually. Jeez, that's bad. It kinda works, but it's yeah. But it's very bad. I need to inverse that. Multiply by -1. Why is that actually? That also rotates. Why is that also a thing? No. Let's take that and multiply it by -1. Is that how it works? How do I inverse the camera? Okay, that works and that works. Okay, it's good. Now, why am I rotating in such a weird way? I have my all frozen. Oh, I think I have to just angle. No, I don't know. Let's check what that guy has done. Dot Euler angles, I mean. What? Euler angles. Oh. So it actually, it will do the same. I'm pretty sure. I just have to switch that mouse position dot Y mouse position dot x. That will do the same. And he's using rotation. He's adding those, okay. Because I have to do, because now it would be like mess. Yeah, it is mess. It's like refreshing every frame, so that's why it looks like that. But when I do, if I do like new vector 2 and it's O and O, and mouse position dot x equals that, and mouse position dot y equals this. Although actually it's a rotation, so it actually should be like that, and that should be like it equals this, and it shouldn't equal, it should plus equal. Then we can get rid of that and just make mouse position. Okay, that's how it should work. I'm just wondering if it will work like the first version I wrote, or no, it's actually way better. Okay, and it's rotating so that I can move forward every time. Okay, kinda working good enough. I can't move sideways yet though. Who cares? So it's, for now it's like that. I can kinda look around. I can kinda open inventory and do things, and you already see where's the problem. Our inventory doesn't block. Yeah, so the problem, I can't use that as a universal because I have to have a dedicated inventory panel and slots holder as well as tooltip and a grid layout for it. The grid I kinda have to end. Yeah, so I'm gonna end for now. I'll probably make something at the evening. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.